All right, everybody. It's Monday, July 20th. Yeah, today's 20th. Um, got to Arkansas Saturday, even after all the hubbub and brouhaha. Got to work. I didn't get in until Saturday night. Got to work on the boat a good while yesterday, but I'll give you an update. I had a little bit of a health scare. I'm not used to working in that heat, and yeah, I'll go into that in further detail. We got a few things done on the boat. I'm going to turn this around. Got a few things done on the boat. We got the hard top off of it. We got the rotted out benches out. I gave it a good. It needs another good washing. I'm going to take the power washer to it. I'm going to have to probably, definitely, shot back this a few more times. Now, some bad things we did. We turn this around for you so you can see it. We managed to break the front part of the trailer. The little plastic wheel snapped off. When that happened, the entire boat, and it didn't roll far because we just had that rock, one of those rocks on each side. We didn't put those chalks under it. Well, the boat was heavy enough that it jumped the rocks and hit that tree, barely missing the motor. So we almost destroyed the motor. So yeah, chalk one up to a couple guys who don't know what they're doing. But I think we're going to move that console forward to roughly up in there because the cabin is going to come to right here, and it's basically going to start about right here. I'm going to have to cut a back door in the existing framework and building. It's got a front door, but that'll give me room to put a little bench where I can put my battery under it. Also have a seat back here so I can have this to be a little back deck. So that'll be cool because I'm going to have 6 by 10 of total indoor space. And what we're going to do to shore it up, I know I said something about some 2 by 2s, and I may still do some of those for the roof, but we are going to attach the wooden part and the framework to these railings down here, and we're going to attach the base down here. And I can't decide if we're going to go from the outside. It depends on the thickness of the boards, but I'm thinking we're going to go in here because it's only 6 feet and this is an 8-foot decking, which means when I lose that much space on each side, so it's 6 feet 6 inches wide. So I think by the time I lose that much space on each side, that I will be able to make it work. And I may have to put an extra board, thinner board of some sort to fill in the gap if there's any gap at all. And when I build the back door, that's going to take some space too. And what I'm planning on doing for the pilot console, pilot house, I'm planning on running some. I don't want to take up that space, so I'm planning on running boards up to here, maybe another board up here. Well, no, this is going to be the edge of the. This is going to be the edge of the cabin, so I can run a little framework here, and I can put some sheet metal and possibly two plexiglass, two plexiglass, and just leave that open. It'll be an open space, and if it's raining, I'll have plexiglass on each side of me and a little bit in front of me. I'll have some right in front of me here. Tripping on the jack. Sorry, got to watch where you're going around a boat. Um, so I should have a little pilot house built up. Sorry, I'm still okay. We'll talk about yesterday now. Well, we got done. I mean, we were both just sweating our asses off, and I haven't worked outside in the heat. And see, I'll be 57 next Tuesday. I'd say I haven't really worked out in the heat in 25 to 30 years. Like I've cut the grass, but I'll do it early in the morning or late in the evening and still just be, and that was 20, 30 years ago when I was a lot better shape. So that That's one thing that tells me I've got to get in better shape. Man in a boat by myself, I'm going to have to be in better shape. Hey, but we went down to the water, went down to the boat dock, got in, and he brought a bag of ice cooler bag full of beers. I was feeling bad. I was feeling really bad, but I thought a dip in the water would help. And he tossed me a beer, and I threw that sucker straight up. I was like, well, that's weird. I said, I can usually drink a Budweiser on a hot day and not just go, bleh, and it just shot out. But it was no doubt about it. And he's like, what happened? I said, I don't know. So we stayed down there a little while. I drank a second beer, and it stayed down. But I walked back up a steep hill, and legs were shaking, whole body was shaking. So I went and laid down in bed, shaking, sweat pouring out of me. I immediately went, and I had a couple waters. I slept for about an hour and immediately went to the bathroom and threw up all that water. I was like, well, this sucks. My dad walks out, he goes, man, you're shaking. I said, I don't know what's going on. Knees were knocking, hands were shaking, couldn't hold anything down. So last night I laid down, got up 3 or 4 times, threw up all the water I was drinking. So guess what? When you sweat a lot and you don't have any fluid in you, you got it. I cramped up all freaking night last night. Couldn't sleep. Stomach was rolling. I think I laid down at 6 o'clock and I got up at 6 o'clock this morning. Probably slept half of that, if that. But anyway, I feel better today. And I looked it up this morning. I had fucking heat exhaustion. All the symptoms: shaking, weak, throwing up, cramps, can't keep anything down. I was dehydrated and had, like I said, I hadn't worked in the heat like that in many, at least a couple decades. So now I know I had a heat related episode. So hopefully I can keep some water down today. I got some Propel packets that I had in my truck, in my van. I'm going to drink those on the way back. I got to go back to Memphis because the solar system, part of the solar setup's supposed to be arriving today. I don't need no porch pirates. Because besides the boat, that's the most expensive part of the build. Well, I don't know how much this console moving is going to cost, so that may end up being the second most expensive aspect of the build, is moving this console. But the cabin's small. I'm going to have to buy me a bed. I got a cooktop, got a fridge. I can rough it after that. I just need a place to sit and just fill out the decks and figure out how to make a back door. That's pretty easy. I just cut it and I just I buy me an old storm door and have that be my rear door. But anyway, I'm about to head back to Memphis because they said in between 2 and 4 o'clock is when some of my stuff's supposed to arrive. And it's going to take me till afternoon to get there. So just wanted to work with Dad real quick and see what our next step is. I think he's going to call his buddies down in this town called Gassville that works on his boats and see what it's going to entail getting the console moved and what it's going to cost. And then he's got to get this motherfucker fixed right here. It snapped, and that's what made the boat. Oh yeah, I told him we almost lost the motor yesterday. And that would not have been good. All right, I may check in when I get back to Memphis and give you a reveal of the solar equipment, because I know I've been showing you everything that came in. And hopefully I won't throw up on water and Propel on the way to Memphis. Talk to y'all later. Bye.